Dinosaurs went extinct hundreds of millions of years ago, some as recent as tens of millions. An animal that lived even more recently was the Megalodon. We're talking anywhere from about 23 to as recently as 6 million years ago. And although Megalodons and dinosaurs didn't coexist, I simply don't see a reason why they couldn't have, in the sense that their sizes were in the same realm. Dinos were known to be incredibly large for the most part, as were Megalodons, and they both lived on a planet that wasn't inhabited by humans yet. So we figured, why not see how a battle between a dinosaur and a Megalodon would play out? How's it going, guys? Welcome back to LBQ. I'm your host for this one, Jared Bronstein, and today we'll be answering the question, what if the Mosasaurus fought the Megalodon? Before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon to be updated when we post more videos. As always, I'll be replying to some comments from a previous video to wrap this one up, but before we jump into it, let me know in the comments below who you think would win this bout and why. So for those of you who haven't seen our video on the Mosasaurus or the Megalodon, or you simply don't remember, I'll give you a quick summary of both animals. Starting with the Mosasaurus. On average, these things were somewhere between 20 and 30 feet in length, although the largest ones grew to be up to 57 feet. With similar bodies to that of a shark in the sense that it had flippers and a tail fin, these aquatic reptiles spent a lot of time underwater, but had to come up for air because it actually couldn't breathe underwater. They also draw comparisons to lizards and have scaly skin like a snake. Another animal that is similar to the Mosasaurus are monitor lizards, which include Komodo dragons. With their long, thick bodies and short, stumpy legs, or in this case flippers, these things roamed the waters snacking on anything from fish to sharks and smaller Mosasauruses. And considering their size, I don't know if they would fall victim to a ton of other animals. Weighing around 30,000 pounds on average, one of these things can feed an entire village of animals for weeks. These guys also had double-hinged jaws like that of a snake, which means they usually ate their prey whole. These things did, however, have rows of jagged teeth and even had a set of teeth on the roof of their mouths. Now onto the Megalodon. The Megalodon is believed to have been on average around 34 feet in length, however some may have reached around 60 feet. They are also believed to have weighed anywhere between 50 and 70 tons, which is equivalent to 100 to 140,000 pounds. Much like the Mosasaurus, the Megalodon also had jagged teeth, 276 jagged teeth to be exact, which is similar to that of a great white. Now when it comes to the strength of their bites, it's believed the Megalodon had a bite ranging from 108,000 to about 182,000 newtons. If you're like me and don't know what that bite force means, in comparison, humans have a bite force somewhere around 1,317 newtons. So think about the strength of an average human's bite and multiply that by over 100. Getting bitten by one of these things wouldn't end well for anyone or anything, simple as that. Based on fossil evidence, these things were known to eat whales, dolphins, sea lions, sea turtles, and large fish. Again, when comparing size, I can understand why. So let's say one day a Mosasaurus is just chilling and it sees a shark approaching. But this isn't any old shark, no. It's a Megalodon. Of course, first instinct wouldn't be to attack the fish that's up to 3 times its size and weight, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to break down or really figure out who would win this battle. For starters, the Mosasaurus was an aquatic reptile, but still needed to come up for air to breathe. Although it was a strong swimmer, it wouldn't be able to swim nearly as fast as the Megalodon. With that being said, the Megalodon's size could potentially make it a bit slower, but as we know in the water, weight doesn't matter as much as it would on land. Either way, if these two things go head to head, there aren't many scenarios in which the Mosasaurus is the one that comes out victorious. In fact, the only possible way the Mosasaurus does somehow win is it gets the first bite of the Megalodon and is able to pull it ashore. There, the massive shark would eventually suffocate, and the Mosasaurus would walk away without many scratches, if any. But pulling a Megalodon onto land would be quite difficult, and finding a way to sneak up on this thing would also be tough. On the flip side, the Megalodon would easily make a meal of the Mosasaurus. Aside from the obvious aspect that the Megalodon simply pulls the Mosasaurus down under and drowns it, even a single bite from this thing would most likely end with the Mosasaurus bleeding out. Even if it was able to put up somewhat of a fight against the Megalodon and then try to swim off, I think the Megalodon would catch up and continue attacking. These things were some of the biggest sharks known to man, and we know how vicious sharks can be. Considering how the Mosasaurus was known to mostly reside in shallow waters, the idea of a Megalodon snatching it and pulling it under similar to that of an alligator doesn't seem that far-fetched. Now, the reality of these two actually fighting is a whole other story. Of course, they didn't coexist, but given the size of the two and their eating habits, it seems the Megalodons wouldn't go to such shallow waters. However, at the end of the day, a meal is a meal. So to wrap this one up, the Megalodon wins the battle 9 out of 10 times, maybe even 9.9 out of 10 times. There is the possibility the Mosasaurus gets the best of good old Meg and pulls it ashore, letting it suffocate, but again, pulling one of these things with your mouth onto land would not be an easy task. The size advantage the Megalodon has would certainly be beneficial as well, leading me to believe if it didn't eat a Mosasaurus in one bite, it would cause enough damage from said bite that the aquatic reptile would simply bleed out or be too injured to get very far. Victory goes to the Megalodon. Now, as always, I want to hear from you guys about this one. Do you see any scenarios where the Megalodon becomes a meal? Let me know in the comments down below. below. For now, we gotta reply to some of your previous comments from the video, what if the Titans were real? Zaytrix said, hey Life's Biggest Questions, I hope you read this because I have a good topic for you. What if Opposite Day was real? It'd be an interesting video. I'm not sure if we've covered it on the channel before. I'm sure we have because the channel's been around a very, very long time. But I think simply put, everything you know, just think the opposite. Like for the most part, you know, that I guess everything illegal would be legal and everything legal would be illegal, technically. The SCP Foundation said, what if haters dab back? You're literally a foundation full of like thousands of creatures that could end the world, and that's your biggest concern. SMD STH91 said, what would have happened if the ARPANET/internet, memes, social medias, and smartphones had never existed altogether? I don't think we'd be as far as a society, because I feel like just the idea of having the ability to communicate halfway across the world and even find some of the best scientists, researchers, you know, people that are good with analytics, like all these things that involve data, like we're able to get the best teams around the world because of social media and the internet, and we're able to find more information because of the internet. So I don't think we'd be as advanced by any means as a society without any of those things, especially memes. Anyways, guys, on that note, we're gonna wrap this one up. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein. If you guys have any good memes that you really like, send them to me on Instagram, Bronst7. I love a good meme. And on that one, we're gonna wrap this up. Make sure you guys subscribe and of course hit that bell icon to never miss a video. Share this with someone that you think might be interested in the battle of the century, and let me know in the comments down below who you think would win and why. We'll see you guys in the next one.